for my third book, which to me is my best book, To Whom Much is Given. That book was published in 2019. And that book was a cornucopia and caveat of literary mastery. I was able to combine urban fiction with elements of Nollywood, which is Nigerian movie making themes, uh, and also transplanting settings going from Maryland to England to Nigeria. And going to these different places, you get the sense and representation of how people feel about persons who are half Nigerian and half Black. I kind of continued that theme in my fourth book, which I will talk about shortly. But in this particular story, the main character does not come along until she is born, probably in the 1990s. Her mom, uh, which came about, Jasmine, her mom came into Baltimore and East Baltimore over in the area of Highlandtown in the 1980s. And she was a socialite, a busybody, a good student, fairly friendly, but not too friendly. But her qualities seemed to attract the prince of Nigeria, who had to advocate his throne and the family wealth, at least temporarily, to come to America to escape possible assassination. Um, and the prince, who was named Brandon, was quite popular going to high school, as well as a very, very good football star. And the story you'll find out that he went on to play 2 years in football at Morgan State, unfortunately, until a bad accident claimed his life. The To Whom Much is Given is much about triumph over adversity as it is about triumph over tragedy. There were many, many deaths that emotionally could have made the main character, who is Sonora Ames, Saeed, basically lose her religion and become a very, very bad person. In fact, I think some of the episodes in the story that I talk about with her, where for a brief moment she lost herself and indulged in some inappropriate behaviors and actions and connections, only showed her human side. It showed that the flaws that occurred was as much about reacting to the loss of loved ones, but about also seeking some type of freedom from a very, very overly strict and religiously strict with religion and law abiding circumstances where she was torn between so many different cross cultural and tribal connections. I mean, she's half Black, half Native American, half Nigerian, which means she has all of these different cultural interconnections, and she doesn't know how she fits into either group. In one sense, she's able to live the life of being like a quote unquote Nigerian princess, traveling over to England and working with her aunt and nieces until they unfortunately encounter a negative end and demise. And then she is then forced to leave and go to Africa and live in Nigeria for a while and really, really learn the culture by going to school there and understanding that many of the people there did not appreciate nor like her because of her dual cultural, tribal, and racial, or in this case, tribal distinctions. And so going through that experience, it had a negative effect her as well as the tragedies that she would undergo with many members of her family, again, losing their lives because of the syndicate. Um, I think in many, many ways, if you really go into uh, this third book, you'll see the marvel of me coming into my own as a writer. And the reason why I believe that many of the movie theaters and studios have been coming after me to turn this book into a movie because there are so many twists and turns and so many different actions and so many different things that are going on that it could definitely be a movie of the week, or you could even turn it into a series, but it would certainly be something that many would definitely enjoy.